Hello dear students, welcome to the English class. In the previous class we started the lesson Around a Medicinal Creeper written by Purnachandra Tejasvi. Here the writer talks about a medicinal creeper, which to know about that medicinal creeper and which particular disease it is going to cure. To understand that, nearly it took 20 years for the writer. Why? Because the writer gave reason that like this most of the Indian herbs and medicines were filled with this kind of mystifications, this kind of different stories from the native people of that area. So no one doesn't know about the proper curing elements of those herbs and medicines of Indian forest. So how he come to know about the creeper from his coffee estate, and he come across with his servant, that is Mara, and Mara told many different stories about these medicinal plants. Once he told about that medicinal, because of that medicinal plant of the forest he lost his teeth, and whatever the story told by the Mara, at the end Mara doesn't give any clarity that which is that tree, which is that plant, herbal plant that cured his hand and that affected on his teeth. But he don't know about those plants at all, and he don't know on which ailment, on which disease that herbs and plant were going to use as a medicine. Just he used to tell stories which he was heard by from different people of the society. Okay, dear students, we will continue with the remaining part. Already Mara said many stories to the writer. Here, see, now the time passed and once again I forgot about Mara's medicinal creeper. Here the writer talk about Mara's stories in related to these medicinal creepers and medicinal herbs. And now after long time, after many years, now again the writer come across with this medicinal creeper in his life. That is, the other day my erstwhile farmhand Krishna came to me. Erstwhile means before. Farmhand worker Krishna came to me. He was perfectly healthy, and last time I had seen him, but now he was standing before me pale and breathless. See, Krishna was the worker of writer before he works in writer's farm in coffee estate. When the writer saw Krishna before, that time Krishna was looking very much healthy. Now that Krishna standing before the writer looking very much pale and unhealthy and breathless also. He had stopped working in the estate some time ago and was driving a rickshaw. This Krishna was working in writer's Purnachandra Tejasvi's coffee estate. Before this Krishna works in coffee estates. Now he became rickshaw driver. Apparently when he changed his job, he started passing blood with his stools. In stools means here seat. From his seat he was passing blood with his motion. Why? Because he changed his job. Before he works in the estate, now he was a rickshaw driver. Apparently means of course when he changed his job, he was affected with that work. So now he was very much pale because he lost blood in the motion. Okay, now it had become more serious and he was tired, breathless and sweating. See, that problem become very much serious here. So Krishna looks very much tired and breathless. I thought he must be having piles. Here, the writer Purnichand Tejasvi, when Krishna talks and explains about his problem, he thought that he must have having the problem piles. So, as I knew, the only allopathic treatment for the piles was surgery. See, with the small surgery, that extra part, that piles was removed from that place. With this to this piles problem, only in the allopathic, in the English medicine, there is a surgery for that piles problem. No alternative treatment is there in the allopathic medicine, in this English medicine. As far as I knew, only allopathic treatment for piles was surgery. I felt sorry for this man who used to work hard to earn a living. Now the writer is worrying about his farmer Krishna. Why? Because this Krishna was very much hard working man. Without work he can't survive. But he is unable to work hard because of piles problem. In order to treat that piles problem, he need more money, because for the surgery, only surgery is the treatment for the piles. For the surgical treatment, he has to pour lot of money. But Krishna is unable to give that much money for his treatment. So the writer was feeling so sad for the Krishna. With a wife and small children at home, he had a family. Krishna had a family. He had wife and small children in his home. He is unable to bear that cost for his surgery. So the writer said, I wondered how he could manage the expensive surgical treatment at the hospital, which meant several days of hospitalization and so lack of work and income. See, author is worrying about his farmhand Krishna. Krishna is ill now. He was suffering from piles problem. For the piles problem, only surgical treatment is there in the allopathic treatment. But Krishna is unable to bear that expense of surgical treatment. It means for the surgical treatment he has to hospitalized for the several days, and he has to pay for the treatment. And without work, he has to spend many days in the hospital. All these things looks very much expensive for the people like Krishna. Like that, the writer thinking. He took some money from me and went to the hospital. So the writer gave some money to the Krishna in order to get proper treatment for his piles problem. So the Krishna went to the hospital. The doctors there advised him surgery. Krishna was scared. There in the hospital, doctor told him only surgical treatment. With the surgical treatment is the piles is going to treated. By hearing that, Krishna was scared and he was afraid of that surgery. So the Krishna knew a Malayali sadhu. These Malayali sadhus are giving some herbal medicine for some body pains and for body ailments. So did Krishna know this kind of Malayali sadhu? Here, when that Krishna was afraid of this surgical treatment for his piles problem, Krishna wanted to treat his piles problem with this Malayali sadhu. This god man had treated Krishna on an earlier occasion. See, already this Krishna know this Malayali sadhu. Once this Malayali sadhu treated this Krishna earlier, before, on the particular occasion when Krishna had started developing boils all over his body. See, before some days ago, Krishna was having some bubbles on his body. Boils means some bubbles, gulegadu, bubbles on his body. That time, Krishna went to this Malayali sadhu. This god man had given Krishna the bark of some tree. He given some barks, togategaru, bark of some tree which he was supposed to crush and mix with duck's egg and eat. See, when Krishna started developing bubbles all over his body, this Krishna went to that Malayali sadhu, this god man, given a treatment for those boils, that he gave some barks of some trees, and that Krishna has to crush and make those barks into powder, and that powder he has to eat with the duck's egg, and that full course for the treatment was 10 days. For 10 days he has to use that powder with the duck's egg. Like this Krishna was treated his boils problem from the Malayali sadhu some days ago, some years ago. So this time also Krishna wanted to treat his piles problem from the Malayali sadhu. It seems Krishna had been completely cured, and after the treatment he never got a boil again. See, Krishna's boils problem was treated by the Malayali sadhu completely. Again never he had boils on his body. Now Krishna went to see the god man again. So for his piles problem, Krishna again wanted to go to Malayali sadhu in order to treat his piles problem. Now the god man had become old. Now that god man become very much old. Apparently he told Krishna that he did not have the strength to search for the plant, but that he would describe it. Now god man become very much old, so the god man said to the Krishna that he is unable to move in the forest in order to search a treatment, in order to search a herb for his piles problem. So that Malayali sadhu is going to describe that plant. Krishna has to search that plant in the forest. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲಯಾಳಿ ಸಾಧು ನನಗೆ ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಆ ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯವನ್ನು ಅರಣ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನಿಂದ ಹುಡುಕಲು ಅಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೀನು ಅರಣ್ಯದಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ತಂದು ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ ಆ ಮಲಯಾಳಿ ಸಾಧು ಕೃಷ್ಣನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನಲ್ ಕ್ರೀಪರ್. See, Krishna had to search for this plant, dig out the tuberous root, mix it with milk and drink the medicine for 5 days. See, here Krishna has to go in the search of that medicinal creeper, and Malayali sadhu told Krishna, when you find that medicinal creeper, you just dig out the tuberous roots of that medicinal creeper, and you take some roots of that creeper and mix it with milk and drink the medicine for 5 days, and drink that medicine for 5 days. Here that Malayali sadhu give the treatment for the piles problem to the Krishna, and that Malayali sadhu says, you search that medicinal creeper and you take the roots of that medicinal creeper and you mix those roots in the milk and you drink that milk for 5 days. Like that treatment was given from the Malayali sadhu to the Krishna for his piles problem. The next day I saw Krishna looking for this medicinal creeper. When I listened to his description, I was sure that he was looking for the same creeper which Mara and Appanna had tied to the nearest tree. I took him to the plant. We had to dig quite a bit to get the tuber. Here, see, when Krishna explained about that creeper, that medicinal herb which was told by the Malayali sadhu, writer understood that Krishna was in the search of the same creeper. So already the writer know where is this Appanna and Mara tied that creeper to the big tree. So writer took Krishna to that creeper, and both together they dig for the root, and they got the root of that creeper. Krishna ground this root and drank it with milk. Within a day his piles improved. He was completely cured. In 5 days, Krishna bid goodbye to his job as a rickshaw driver. Here, both took roots of that medicinal creeper, and Krishna drank that root along with milk. Within 1 day, his piles problem was improved, and in 5 days, he was totally cured with that piles problem. Now, Krishna stopped his rickshaw driving work. Because of that, he was suffering with piles problem, so he left that job. Now, even more strange was what happened to me. See, the writer also dig up some root of that creeper. When we had dug up the root, I ate just a small piece of it just to see how it tasted. It was slightly bitter. See, here already the writer saw that Krishna was cured with his piles with that roots of that medicinal creeper. Now, strange thing was happened with the writer. That was when they dig up for that roots. In surprise, that in order to see the taste of that root, the writer ate small piece of that root, and now the writer says, my right heel had been paining for quite some time. If I had to walk a long distance, I would start limping. See, the writer has some pain in the right side of his leg. When he walks for long distance, he feels somewhat pain in his right heel, so he would start limping. Limping means ಕುಂಟಿ ನಡೆಯುವುದು. If he walks for long distance. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಪೂರ್ಣಚಂದ್ರ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿಯವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಬಲಗಾಲಿನ ಹಿಂಬಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಬಹಳ ದೂರದವರೆಗೆ ಅವರು ನಡೀತಾ ಹೋದಾಗ ಆ ನೋವು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಕುಂಟಿ ನಡೆಯುವ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವು. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೃಷ್ಣನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅವರು ಆ ಒಂದು ಬಳ್ಳಿಯ ಬೇರುಗಳನ್ನು ಕಿತ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಈಗರ್ನೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಆತುರತೆಯಿಂದ ಇದರ ಬಳ್ಳಿಯ ಒಂದು ಬೇರುಗಳ ರುಚಿ ಹೇಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಬಳ್ಳಿಯ ಬೇರಿನ ತುಣುಕನ್ನು ಅವರು ತಿಂದಿದ್ರು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವರು ಈ ನೋವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂಬಡಿನ ಒಂದು ನೋವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಬಳ್ಳಿಯ ಬೇರಿನ ತುಂಡನ್ನು ತಿಂದಾಗ ಅದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿರೋದನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ಣಚಂದ್ರ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿಯವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಮನಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. He says, of late there was a swelling next to the bone of my heel. There was not only a pain, there was a swelling, ಬಾವು. ಆ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂಬಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋವು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬಾವು ಕೂಡ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. The surgeon had said that it had to be surgically removed, but I noticed that a few days after I had eaten the piece of root, the swelling had disappeared. See, the surgeons told me that something, whatever the pain is caused in that heel, that was surgically removed. ಸಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂಬಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬಾವು ಮತ್ತು ನೋವುಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾದ ಸರ್ಜಿಕಲ್ ಆಪರೇಷನನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುವುದಾಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ರೈಟರ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಬಟ್ ದ ರೈಟರ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಈಟಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ root, the swelling had disappeared. The swelling in his right heel, beside the right heel, was disappeared. There is no swelling, there is no pain at all in his right side of the heel. How can I say that this was the effect of the creeper? See, here the writer is unable to say that small piece of that root affected, and because of that only he was cured with his heel problem. It could have been purely accidental, It may be accidental that unknowingly, without any treatment, my pain would be gone, would be disappeared. But how I could say that that small piece of that root cured my heel problem, even if it was so. There are various types of swelling that occur in the human body, and this particular plant may be effective on only some of them. See, now the writer was thinking that for which disease that plant is used as a treatment. See, already Krishna was cured with the piles. Now they got that creeper as a treatment for the piles problem. But author is unable to identify that whether that creeper treats the body pains and body swellings. So he describes his own experience that he had from so many days he had a pain in his right heel after eating that root. Now his pain was disappeared and that swelling also disappeared, but still the writer is not sure that because of that creeper only he is able to cure that his heel problem. But now he is in confusion. If we take it as that creeper, that root of the creeper cured his problem, means now he is in confusion that human body has many pains and many kind of swellings in all over our body. But here he is still unable to identify that which kind of swellings and pains that creeper is going to treat. So the writer says there are various types of swellings that occur in human body, and this particular plant may be effective on only some of them, but may not be this plant is going to cure all the swellings and pains of the body. And moreover, the writer don't know which particular swelling and pain it is going to cure. Who is going to do researches into all these aspects? If we did some research and all, means we can identify, but no one is ready to do some researches in related to Indian herbal medicines. For people like Mara, research is of no importance at all. People like Mara know about these medicines, but they don't worry about these researches and all. They are unable to do some researches, but they know about these medicinal plants. Even the Malayali godman shared his knowledge with Krishna only because he was too old and weak, or else he would have gone to the forest himself and given Krishna the medicine as a secret portion. Here, people like Mara, they know about these medicinal creeper, but they don't have any idea to share that knowledge to the others. Why? Because they don't know particulars and particular treatment of that creeper. But people like Malayali godman, they know about these Indian herbs and these medicines of our forests, but they are not ready to share about that knowledge with the common people. Here this Malayali godman, he said and he revealed the identity of that creeper with Krishna only because he became old. If that Malayali godman young and healthy, he would go himself and he would bring that creeper, and in secret he used to give that medicine to the Krishna. So here writer is telling that some people, they know about these medicines, but exactly they are not known to which particular disease it is going to cure. The person like godman, Malayali sadhu, they know about these medicines and they know about their curing properties also, but they are not ready to share that knowledge to the common people, to the other people. Like this, the knowledge of Indian herbal system become useless. Then further, one of the problem is that these native doctors believe that if they would told others about their medicines, the medicine would lose their potency. Here these native doctors like Malayali Sadhu, they know about the potency of the curing property of the creeper, of the medicinal plant, but they are not ready to tell that curing properties to the other person. Why? Because they are in the mystification, they are in misbelief that if they tell about the medicine and their curing property to the other people, and that medicine is going to lose its potency. Because of this belief, India's native medicinal system are on the verge of extinction. ಈ ಒಂದು ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ಔಷಧೀಯ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಸ್ಯ ವರ್ಗಗಳು ವಿನಾಶದ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದು ಯಾವ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರ್ಣಚಂದ್ರ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿಯವರು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಅರಣ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋವನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಭಾರತವು ಸಮೃದ್ಧವಾದ ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾಗ ಕೂಡ ಅದರ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಬಳಕೆ ನಾವು ಭಾರತೀಯರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಅಲೋಪತಿಕ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದರ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಒಂದು ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮುಂದಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಈ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೀಗಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಜುಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಜನರು ಈ ಔಷಧೀಯ ಸಸ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾಳಜಿಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮಾರಾನಂತ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿದಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಅವರಿಗಿಲ್ಲದ ಕಾರಣ ಅವರು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಿಸ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ತಪ್ಪು ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ, ಮೂಢನಂಬಿಕೆಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಔಷಧಿ ಮೂಲಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೋಲಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಮಲಯಾಳಿ ಸಾಧುವಂಥ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಆ ಔಷಧಿಯ ಬಳಕೆ ಕೂಡ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನು ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಆ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಔಷಧಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬರ ಮುಂದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಎದುರು ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆ ಔಷಧಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಪಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯ ಆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಗುಣಪಡಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಆಗುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಇರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಆ ಒಂದು ನಾಟಿ ವೈದ್ಯರು ತಿಳಿದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಆ ತಪ್ಪು ನಂಬಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯ ವರ್ಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿನಾಶದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಷನ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿನಾಶದ ಅಳಿವಿನ ಅಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರ್ಣಚಂದ್ರ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿಯವರು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಮಾರ್ಮಿಕವಾಗಿ ಈ ಪಾಠದ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಯರ್ we can find many stories in this lesson. 4 stories were told by Mara. First story that Mara told about the medicinal creeper, that is, medicinal creeper was cursed by the sages, and whenever you see that medicinal creeper, you have to tie that creeper to the nearby tree. This is the first story. Second story is about his hand. His hand was cut by the sharp sickle when he go to the doctor at Hulihindalu, the white man, and he was surprised that one leaf cured his wound very much fastly. And they searched, the doctor and the Mara searched for whole day for that leaf. He never find that leaf in that area, in that forest. That was the second story. And third story is related to his teeth. Mara doesn't have any teeth at the right side of his mouth, but he gives that reason that one medicinal plant affected his teeth. Because of that he lost all the teeth Okay, and the fourth story is about wild buck. He and his friend caught a wild buck in the forest, and they skinned that buck, and they divided the meat in two partitions, and that meat was covered with a medicinal leaf. When he brought that leaf to his house, his wife is ready to cook. When he opened that pocket, there was a wild buck in that parcel, in that pocket. This is the fourth story. Okay, four stories were said by the Mara. After this, Purnachandra Tejasvi said, after he sold that his estate, and Mara was also dead and gone after so many years, once again that writer saw Aparna was tying that tree, after Aparna was tying that medicinal creeper. When the writer asked Aparna also don't know about that medicinal creeper. But Aparna says, if you squeeze the juice of this creeper into milk, milk will be hard. And that writer did that experiment. This is the fifth story. And the sixth story is, now after many years, again Krishna, the story of Krishna. And Krishna was the farmhand, erstwhile farmhand of the writer. And Krishna was also suffering from the piles problem, and he was cured his piles problem with that medicinal creeper. This is the sixth story. Like this, we find nearly 6 stories in this lesson. And with this, at the end, the writer talks about the Indian medicinal and herbal system. And because of these kind of stories and mystifications, Indian herbal system was decreasing, and that herbal system was in the extinct, in that ವಿನಾಶದ ಅಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿಕೊಂಡಿರೋದನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸಮರಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲೆಸನ್. ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.